Can it be true? Is it really true? Are we back live again after weeks and weeks of staying off the live grid? You know what? YouTube says you are live. So I'm starting to believe it. The prophecy is coming true. The weekly live evaluations are back. At least for now. But first, let us hear if we got some audio, because we do have history with issues of that concern. Stay with me, my dear friends, my fear-facing allies. Nope. Whoa! You know what? I hear myself. Okay, with that being taken care of, let's mute ourselves and let's put out a fair warning. My name is Alexander Nilsson. This is the weekly live evaluation, aka Tea Time with me. It's the first one in like 4 or 5 weeks. It probably is gonna be all over the place, crazy. I have outlined a structure, but since my watch is beeping, this is the way it's gonna be. It's gonna be chaotic. I have a lot of thoughts from the week, the week of fear, daily fear facing, the week of setting up goals, but twisted like fears I'm gonna meet instead. And I want to go through how this daily fear facing has impacted my life, not only this week, but on a higher level, because I've taken this more and more serious, like the daily fear facing, for the last 2 months, I'd say. So I thought that's the plan. That's what I'm going to be talking about. And I do have a structure in mind, but I also know myself, and I also know I haven't done this in a while, so I might be caught in the moment and just boom, 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 go nuts. Now I can see that my live has freezed, so let me just update it and see if I'm on or not. Doesn't seem like it. Am I? Yeah, I can see myself. Okay, so the deal is, I'm gonna take a sip here. And then I'm gonna start talking. Let me just summarize what has happened for the last period. I've been on vacation for 5 weeks. I've been home at Öland. I've been away from living in Stockholm, working, and my regular routines. That gave me some perspectives. That also made me distance myself from my whole life here in Stockholm. But one thing I did stuck to was my daily fear facing. I decided that I need to do something on a daily basis. I used my planning system, my OneNote. This is OneNote. This is where I do my journaling, my planning for the week, my fear facing planning, everything I do in OneNote. I also have it synced to my phone, so I can write up things as the day progresses. And this is key for me, to have a system to organize my thoughts in, and just putting out that strategy in words and looking at it over and over again, so I know what I'm about, so I can refresh my memory when I get lost, when I get reactive. But anyways, when it comes to the fear facing, I have like a daily routine checklist, and here's where I put up my fears. If I do something, I write it up there. But now I go into the details straight away. Let me just summarize what I talked about in the last Sunday video, because there I introduced this fear setting approach. Like, instead of putting up goals, we put up fears we want to reach. I took the example of me developing my social skills. This is something I come back to, that it's what I mostly talk about because it's what this channel is tightly connected to, and I think that's what you guys most relate to. But I don't only put up fears within the social context. I do this within all my life areas. I have 7 life areas: spirituality, health and well-being, social, personal development, career, financial, and fun things. So I put up fear goals, fear settings, fears I need to face in all these areas, and I make sure that I have weekly fear routines that aligns with these goals or fears. So for instance, I actually had a question on this by oh, you see how I go all over the place straight away. I have a thought in mind what I want to say here. Wayne asked me what my biggest fears and goals were, and within the social sphere, I have like a top goal of being able to talk to anybody, anywhere, at any given time. Now, I've been telling you guys that, yeah, goals should be specific, and that goes for the fears as well. That is true. It's a high-level goal. And how do I measure I want to be able to talk with anybody, anywhere, at any given time? Well, it's like once a year, once a year, I could say, I go out there and I try to do this test. Can I go approach anybody? Can I speak to anybody? Can I do that? Well, it's a continuous test. If that happens over time, I mean, that's the state that I've then reached. But I mean, it's not always going to be like that. So you see how weak this goal is to that extent. That's why when I break it down to a closer range, I have fears that I'm going to be facing within 1.5 months, where I'm going to be holding a public speak within my company. I'm going to talk for 45 minutes on this big conference. It's going to be about around 150 to 200 people. And this is a big fear that is coming up. It's freaking paralyzing me just thinking about it. But that fear is aligning with the goal of being able to talk to anybody, anywhere, at any given time. So I put up fears that will take me towards this bigger thing, but it's scaled down. So that thing, doing that presentation, that's coming up in 1.5 months. But that means I need to baby step fears up towards that point. And that's why I break it down. Like this week, I have some fears that will support me, my ability to do that speech. I'm doing my daily social fear facing. That means I say hi to random people I meet. I try to engage in conversations with random people. But the baseline for doing something on a daily basis is very low. I just have to say hi to people I meet. I have done that throughout the week, maybe like 50 times. It's something that comes very easily to me now. It's a low bar, but it also opens up for me for the opportunity to engage in longer conversation, because I've just opened that door. It's so much easier. And I also make sure to have like developing routines. Like I'm reading the book The Charisma Myth by Olivia Fox right now. That's a goal that will enable me to hold that presentation in a more confident way, because I know the theory of how to be charismatic. In the same time as I get introduced to different practices, exercises for how to be more charismatic, practices that are scary for me to practice, like during a conversation, just be quiet for 2 seconds. That was something I practiced yesterday. That was a fear action. I identified that as a fear routine. So that's how I scale it up. That's how I have a longer vision further away, and then I see myself, I break it down for how I will reach that state. And it is fears. Fears is what is hindering me to go there. Or let's change it. Fears is what's gonna enable, facing these fears is what's gonna enable me to take me there. But this requires the planning, the strategy thinking, the awareness, because the awareness is key. And the awareness is what's enabling me to do this on a daily basis. Let me just have a sip here. You see, the more and more I get tangled up to this fear-facing approach, the clearer I see the result of this, the clearer the connection is, the equation, like fear, great result, feeling joy. It's just, if I want to grow, if I want to do the things I want to do, the things I need to do, the things that are a must for me, it's not a debatable question. It's just something I have to do. I have to take these actions in order to live the life I want to live, to be free in mind and body. All that crap I was about to say, but it's what makes life so much fun. Because this week, it's been so clear to me how much this work, this personal development work, the time I've invested has paid off. The routines that I've implemented, the daily fear facing, life is just so much more fun. And this is something you have to, you can't judge yourself based on other people. You have to compare yourself to your old self. And that's what I do now. When I just I've just come back from 5 weeks of vacation. So I have that contrast when I go back to my normal work routines, and I can feel how much easier everything is. Like taking tough conversations, doing the hard things that worked, and saying hi to people when I travel my distance forth and back to work. Now, prior to like 2 months before, it's like it's a whole another person. I'm not the same person. I barely have words to say how much I've grown, how much more confident, how much more I enjoy being myself as the result of all these actions. But the thing is, it's so many small actions that I can't pinpoint any one given time, like, oh, that's when I grew. No, it happens over time. That's why you have to trust the process. You may like saying hi to one person every day, that's not going to give you any result. But it's what that one action leads to. It's the momentum you give that will just, you see the curve here, the exponential growth that will come as a result of you starting small. You have to trust the process. Trust the goddamn fear-facing process. It will make your life, you'll just come to enjoy life so much. I mean, I can't give you any promises. It's just my experience. That's just my experience. But what I want to hit on a point there. The thing is, these routines, this fear-facing framework, it will become autonomous. Once you know what kind of goals, fears you want to reach, when you know in which areas you want to strive towards, you prioritize different actions and things that will take you there. And you if you don't write it down, you should write these down. You should have a clear idea of what things you can do to develop certain skills, so you can identify them easier throughout your days. Because this awareness radar I've been talking about, if you know what to look for, it will be activated when these things pop up on the radar. If I'm sitting at my office, if I'm sitting at the office, I'm working, and something happens, something pops up. Like yesterday, I needed to talk to this ET guy because I needed to do some video rendering, video editing for work at work. It was kind of like it was an optional task for me, but it was a task that really could pay off really good. But that meant I need to go have a conversation with the ET guy, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. It's a bit uncomfortable. It was a new guy. I was like, I didn't want to do it. But then I realized, hey, Alex, this is actually a fear of yours. You're distancing yourself from taking that conversation, a conversation that might be a bit uncomfortable because you're not used to talking to this guy and so forth. So I just identified that and I put it up on my fear list. Talk to the ET guy and make him approve the installation of the software for the video program. Now, once that was up there on my fear list, it was identified, I just knew I had to do it. It's like, yeah, it's up there. I've gone through the action. I've realized it's something I need to do. It's a fear. It's hindering me from doing what I really want to do. When the opportunity emerges, you just do it, Alex. You just do it. Because right there and then I couldn't do it. It wasn't in. But once he walked by, I was like, stood up, hey you, da 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 da. And this is just a super small example, but that's what I'm talking about here. It's the small things that gives you the momentum to do bigger things, to grow. And to take a fear-facing example, take a fear-facing example that is not related to social fears, related to my training. Also yesterday I was biking to my workplace. I usually don't, since I'm biking for like an hour, and it's hard to push yourself to like, it's a fear of mine to push myself to really like, okay, now I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna beat the time and like really sweat it off. It's scary because that's hard. That's pushing yourself to new limits. So I usually don't check my time in case I'm in the window of opportunity to break a new record or so. But I was biking and it felt good. I was looking at my watch and then I looked back because like subconsciously I knew that's a fear. I don't want to go there. I don't have the energy to push myself today. But once I had looked away from the watch, it's like, wait a second, that's a fear, Alex. If you dare to look at that watch, maybe you get the motivation to push yourself. I know you don't want to push yourself because it's 4:30 in the morning and you're tired, but it's a fear and it really could pay off really good. You know, when you have a really good exercise in the morning, that just kicks you off in a super good way. So I just identified that action. I looked at my watch and I realized, damn, you have the opportunity here to do a kick-ass time. And that moment, boom, I was on. I was just biking like crazy, and I almost beat my record with 1 second. Now I didn't, but I still had an awesome workout just because I identified that fear-facing radar was turned on. I identified the fear and I took action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just go for it. And that's how my radar has become better and better. It's picking up on fears all over the place in all different areas within a field I want to develop in. I need to develop my social skills. Oh, there's a book here on charisma. Let's take that. Let's invest time in daily reading, listening to this book. Because what I've also done is that I'm not looking at the fears so square. Can you say that? In Sweden you can say that. I'm broadening the definition of what a fear is to me. Like, okay, I fear talking to this person because that's uncomfortable. I can get rejected. Yeah, that's like a rejection fear. But then I have like the fear of sitting down, having lunch with my colleagues. Usually I eat on my own, like a couple of hours later than them, because, well, partially I like to eat late, and I also like to be alone when I eat. But then I question that action. It's like, okay, Alex, why don't you eat with these people? Yeah, I know you like to eat later, and I know you can save time if you don't sit there and just waste time on a long lunch. You can work more instead. But when I really looked at it, when I desiccated it, you know, when you cut something open, look at the details, I realized that one of my greatest fears in life is to waste time. It's like I'm this like super productive guy. At least that's what I'm. Yeah, I am this super productive guy. I always have to do some kind of action. I always have to see some kind of result. Like I have to work on this project. I have to do this. I just can't just sit and do nothing. And having lunch with people, just sitting, enjoying good company, I have associated that with doing nothing. It's like, this is not taking me forwards in life. This is basically a waste of time. I'm not a guy that wastes time. Hence, I can't do this. It scares the crap out of me to not be productive. And once I realized that, it's like, that's actually a fear. I'm not doing that because I'm scared of wasting time. Time, which is the most precious thing for me. And when I saw it like that, it's like, well, maybe I just have to do that to question that assumption. I know that it's really not like that. If I sit down, have a 30-minute meal, good conversation, getting to know people, practicing social skills, that will have a much greater payoff than doing more work, writing on this document for some report or whatever work for 30 minutes. If I sit here and connect with people, I will be able to feel connection within, just enjoy life, enjoy the food I'm eating to a greater extent, develop my charisma, social skills. Since I read this book this morning, I have this exercise I want to practice. Developing my charisma skills, my social skills, that is something that will pay off great in life. I mean, writing a document, that's not gonna take me forwards in life in comparison to having great social skills, being able to connect with people, being able to talk to new people, bringing me to new opportunities that will open door to perhaps a whole new career path, to perhaps a whole new opportunity to do some kind of work. I mean, when I look at it, when I break it down, this thing is giving me opportunities way, way, way bigger than doing that other thing. But still, it's the fear of losing time that is hindering me. What I'm trying to get at is that when I have this new perspective of just looking at things with these fear glasses, like that's a fear, that's a fear, that's a fear, that's a fear, I get motivated, I get hungry to question that and break it down and really look at what really is scaring me, what the fear within that is. And when you objectify it, when you realize that it's not even a fear that is it's not grounded in anything, it doesn't make sense, then that fear needs to be questioned. I need to put in action. I need to face that fear. And like, that's what has happened this week to such a great extent. I have these new glasses on life, and I'm so hungry for what's coming ahead, because if the development is going to continue like that, I have no idea where it's going to take me. Yeah. Maybe I rambled on for too long. Maybe not. Yeah, I probably did. But it felt good. It felt good to be back doing this live stream. It was actually a fear of mine because I hadn't done it in such a long time. I realized this morning, or actually last evening, yeah, the live stream, it scares you. I need to do it because it aligns with something I want to be better at. I want to be able to have a live stream in a good way. I want to be able to talk to anybody, anywhere, at any given time. It aligns with my goals. I mean, I can't go out there, face all my fears all the time. It doesn't work like that. Then I would be occupied with, I would be reactive. I need to be thoughtful in the actions I take. That's why we need to have the weekly evaluation, so we can see what actually is important to us. So we know what kind of fears our radar will be reacting to. This is crucial. But we do like buts. But this is everything for now, I think. We don't have any participants right now. It's early morning here in Sweden, and well, you just didn't join me this morning. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. I will see you in the next one, Sunday. However, I'm not clear on the details for that one yet. I am hungry for exploring the micro adventures, to do more adventurous things without making them very big and grandiose. Like, I want to go on a micro adventure for 3 hours. I think that gives you back so much in life, and it's something I want to make a video on that. I haven't quite figured out how yet. We'll see if I can put something together for Sunday. However, fair warning, I am doing something amazing. I am going on an adventure this weekend. I'm gonna, what do you say when you join for a party? I'm gonna be going at my first wedding, my first big wedding this weekend. It's two great friends. I also have one of my best friends flying in from France. It's gonna be an epic adventure. So I booked the hotel, the suit is hanging over there, and that's what's gonna happen. It is gonna capitalize on my video making, editing time. I'm gonna get back Sunday afternoon, so something will be put out there on Sunday. I don't know what yet. But no, putting that aside, I'm gonna have a freaking amazing weekend, facing some fears, enjoying life, and I hope you do the same. This has been Alexander Nilsson talking rubbish with some essence of insights and reflections, hopefully worth sharing. See you when I see you. Bye, guys. We can't get enough of the green tea.